Happy Carol Over. Happy Carol Over. Happy Carol Over. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Welcome to the Carol Over half hour with the National Carol Festival. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? Are you having a happy Carol Over? God, are you having a happy Carol Over? Yes, Teroni. Oh my goodness, Monica Inns, are you having a happy Carol Over? Anybody loving the hair and makeup? Compliments of the announcer. Happy Carol Over. Vernon Gittins, happy Carol Over. How are you all doing? Judy Jilks, Lucinda Allen, Mildred Ben, happy Carol Over. Oh, tonight it's all about Carol Over. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Vihoy says happy Carol Over from the National Carol Foundation. Oh, I love it, Vihoy. All the way from the diaspora. I believe you are catching it really, really well. Michelle, are you liking the hair and makeup? Compliments. I mean, the makeup, you got to focus on the makeup. The makeup, you got to see my makeup and the hair. Happy Carol Over. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Well, tonight, folks, we are heading right into our Carol Over, half hour. And you know, I decided from the National Carol Festival that I'll do something about featuring the Calypsonian. I mean, it's normally about me, but I'll do something featuring the Calypsonians, who are, the complaining. I'm tired of all of this complaining. They want to move from the botanical gardens. The botanical gardens. I mean, we have prepared the place. It's beautiful. But they want to go back to the gymnasium. Can you imagine that? No, they want a semifinal. When last have you heard the kind of calypsos and the kaisos that are coming from the tents? Oh, despicable. Horrible. Not in my National Carol Festival. Absolutely not. And they want a semifinal? Oh, no. No semifinal for you. No, crap. Total crap. Those kaisos. 2 songs. You want 2 songs? 2 songs. Oh my goodness, 2 songs. Have you heard what they are singing lately? And only a couple of weeks I heard this announcer singing this song. And claim he's singing on behalf of these Calypsonians. Oh, goodness. But one of them, from MAD, they're all mad anyway, all crazy, mad. And he does one, bless our enemies. And I'm going to start this happy Carol Over with bless her. I want to be positive. So I'm going to bless those enemies. The announcer, I hope you're listening. Yeah. So can you just play that one to start on a positive note, please. Go right ahead. Happy Carol Over.
Kneeling down for my 2-knee bone. A big favor I want from you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to bless my enemies. Like that protect them daily. Make them live loud so that I want to see how happy I always be. I want you to bless my enemies. Like that protect them daily. Make them live loud so that I want to see how happy I always be. Father, Lord, bless and forgive my haters. Feed these stab out deceitful liars. Even the French, make sure they got. And you said they fuck the belt and they fought. Dear Lord, It's got to sleep and the ground all start to be like them. I want you to bless my enemies like I protect them daily. Make the lift low so that I walk and see how happy I always be. I want you to bless my enemies like I protect them daily. Make the lift low so that I walk and see how happy I
All right.
Father,
All
Lord,
right.
and please remember those who was born.
Yes. Bring it down, selector. Bring it down, selector. This is, if you're just joining us, this is a crop over half hour with the National Carol Festival. The Carol over half hour with the National Carol Festival. And, you know, as we've been talking about those Calypsonians, these Calypsonians trying to become an enemy of the National Carol Festival. But as I said, I started out with just blessing them. Now, at the National Carol Festival, we have invited them to several and planned and produced several symposiums and workshops. Ask them how many did they attend. But they're writing again this year. And did not attend the workshops and the symposiums put on by the National Carol Festival. Mr. Producer, listen, I want you to play this other song and listen to the lyrics and how it's written. Terrible. Mr. Producer, play the next one in this Carol over half hour.
Bloody hard. I felt I should stop saying Kaiso, cause since Junior Monarch I ain't had no bite. That's what I say. Bashment and Soca is the thing for Dynamo, because Calypso I just struggle to write. Some tell me don't come bout and play that tyrant in politics, cause I don't have a clue, but that's too big for you. So I really had to take care while I was writing this song, because I didn't want to hear the things I writing were wrong. I write that this small country let's borrow too much money. I hear don't write that. You're wrong about that. I write that our leaders like them ain't have no answers. I hear don't write that. You're wrong about that. Every time I write around, around if I write that Bajans regret. The government to me like every time I write around, around if I write some MPs who fail, holding on to me a coattail every time I write around, so I really don't know how long I can take to finish this song, cause every time I write, bloody hard. I write that you should protect yourself against these criminals, crooks, and these gunmen. We should get tasers.
Furthermore, you can't write that. The commissioner said to cooperate.
I convince myself to keep writing, but leave out all of the politics. I see society malfunctioning, so that should be an easy topic. Blind men could see that crime overweight and out of hand, while paychecks undersized, murders and prices on the rise. I had a rush of ideas, so I started to write them down. But then I heard a voice say, the things are right and are wrong. I write that many Bajans living in sufferation. I hear don't write that. You're wrong about that. People can't feed them children, but me I can't spare $1 million. Don't write that. You're wrong about that. Every time I write around, if I write out killings increase. Since the government pay for peace every time I write around. Every time I write around. If I write people don't get killed. In Sandy Lane or Apes Hill every time I write around. Every time I write around. So I really don't know how long I can take to finish this song. Cause every time I write around. Bloody hard. I write. If you spare the road, you get spotty child. Beat them.
Oh, you hear you can't write the things. You're gonna want them trying to beat you later. Beat the teachers.
Right. You're right. You're right. You're wrong. Every time you're right, you're wrong. And this is viewers in this Carol Over half hour at the National Carol Festival. Did you hear the lyrics of that song? Did you hear the lyrics? And that is what they want us to create a semifinals for? Huh? To pick up all of our the profits, to put it into a semifinal to showcase that? They're all wrong. Every time they all write, they're wrong. Whenever they write, they're all wrong. All of them are wrong. They're all wrong. They want 2 songs. Can you imagine sitting and listening to 2 songs? Michelle, are you crazy? Who is this? Who is this person talking about excellent tune? Do you understand what is excellent and excellent? Did you hear any melody in that song? Did you hear any melody in that song, Michelle? Were you listening to that song? I mean, I've never written a calypso. I've never written one in my life, but I tell you, I know a good melody and I know good lyrics. And that ain't it. This is the National Carol Festival. And whether they like it or not, they're going to the botanical garden. They will have 1 song, no semifinals. And when I want to start the show, I start the show. Stop telling me we need to start the show on time. I start the show when we want to start the show at the National Carol Festival. We don't need to start on time. Producer, play the other song, please. You see, we're late. We're always late, and you're making a big thing. Your stakeholders. Stakeholders of what? What stake? What stake? This is the National Carol Festival. It is a Carol Over. Stakeholders. Let me hear what this one here, this classic has to say here. Classic.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Aye, aye, aye. Oh, yeah, yeah. Aye, aye, aye. Well, look up. Can't drive on the road at night because you come with your lights so bright, like you want blind me for spite. It is overbearing. Me and you never had no war. Why you spot the light on me for? Is it accidental or you just someone caring? Every day you go here complaining all the things that ain't going right. From now on I will be explaining which place you could spot the light. Spot the light in the parliament and see who is looking out for you or barely fooling we. Spot the light the right places and find out who is on the people's side and who's selling out. Don't put it on me, you joke. I don't get no port when guns coming in. I am sure cowboys and Indians, no, don't put it on me, you idiot. When taxpayers' money waste, don't spot it in my face. You better spot the light man who run the place. I don't run the government. I know if the computer, don't spot it on me, Bozy. Spot the light man the DLP. Oh yeah, yeah. Aye, aye, aye. Well, look up.
blinding us with the LEDs. Them that are doing as the please, and then tell the authorities, I feel violated. Go stop in the treasury, then you will see if the economy living off borrowed money that I am afflicted. Light is a great disinfectant. Use it, don't abuse it at night. Cause all that hide in the darkness must come out in the light. Spot the light in the board meetings and see who is representing you, or the rich minority. I want you spot the light in the right places and find out who is standing up for you, or just running them out. Don't put it on me, no way. I don't have any clout.
Classic. Huh? Classic. Of all the people you. Huh? What about singing about Africa? Where are those songs about Africa? Huh? Everybody wants to come and they're into this biting Calypso. What about Africa? Sing about Africa. Sing about what about the nation building songs? Huh? The songs about climate change. Oh, sing about Trump. Well, sing about America. Oh, what all of these songs? These biting. What are you singing? What about the I Love Mia songs classic? Where is the I Love Mia song? You decide to spot the light on the government. Let me see how far you're going to get with that song. Let me see how far you're going to get with that song. This is a national carol festival. Let's see how far you're going to get there. I'll be watching you. You got through CBC there. You got through, huh? We will see how far you get with this one. Huh? I'm not hearing too many I Love Mia songs. Where are the I Love Mia songs? Come on, people. Huh? And then someone is asking me, where are we going to put the president? Duh. Where are we going to put the president? Near the toilet where we put her the last time. That's where the president is going to be. And did you try to spot the light on me? Listen, I keep telling the Calypsonians. To look at their melody. Look at the melody. All of this ba 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 black sheep. And you want us to put blah 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 black sheep and allow you to sing two songs? Allow you to sing two songs. In which festival? Which festival? The National Carol Festival? Ain't happening. And the more you complain, keep complaining. You will see how far you get. Not in the finals of this National Carol Festival. Now, let's go to the song in question before we close off this, as we close off this half hour. Correct. You all need to remember, this is the National Carol Festival, and you keep complaining, no car for you. No car. Did you see? Did you see what the others sang about the last couple of years and the ones that won the car? Now this one in front of me here, call himself the announcer. Now, I actually, I don't even know why they're playing this song this evening. I don't know why they're playing this song. I've asked them not to play the song. After all, this is a carol over. half hour. And why would they play this song at this time? Huh? Now, this young man here has decided to write a whole song about me. I guess, you know, I'm that special. I'm that special. Yeah. Play the song. Play the song.
Who says you can't put a woman to do a man's job? Was a promo for a radio show. I remember kitchen and in a minor was the event on which it was said. But over the course of time and history, brilliant performance unveiled the mystery of Carol Robertson, style and grace and flair. When she left, I went to the NCF, and it's happy come over, no, happy Carol over. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Semi-finals gone, 2 songs in competition, I can't even change this one. Jump from the stadium, turn left right, Cumbermere gone. And the people in Station Hill can't even make a little berry in the Carol Festival. But thinking not strange, Carol loves to innovate and change. NCF, NCF, Carol, NCF, NCF, Foundation. NCF. Oh, Carol, I am not a fool. She hit the ground running, eager beaver, ever ready. Classic with the crowd, spotting the light on she. Innovation, 1 song, and more money. Imagine Carol in charge previously. Mr. Harding or Sugar Ministry would be the dilemma facing our people. Gabby, Jack, Calypso, Tumba, love your only want to know. 1 song to sing, I don't mind, Jack would have been king. And it's happy come over, no, happy Carol over. Yeah. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Kahobla are gone, the kings and the queens gone. It's a soca orgy of peck after peck after peck after peck. It's the Carol Festival. Party mother gone, soca mother gone. No proper platform for future soca stars in the Carol Festival. But thinking not strange, Soca 5.0 is change. People with inquiring mind ask me why I'm wasting time on Carol, the cultural diva Carol. Nothing on cost of living, whole town history vanishing, but it's Carol. No murder and crime, just Carol. The PM flights, 93, over 1 million in travel fee, but it's Carol. No Africs in bank, just Carol. But if Carol knows so much about Calypso, how come she never write a Calypso? A witty ditty with a melody so pretty, in the PM with a mighty Calypso. Carol, Foundation. Seminar, webinar, workshop, residency. Jackie open with Dr. Stefan, Arsenal fan. Freedom Park, season of emancipation. Amphitheater for Marcus Garvey, the great man. Work worthy of appreciation. I applaud, I praise, I commend. Carol played, she is in the Calypsonian. How many judging nights did It's the National Carol Festival. The Carol Festival. Cultural village gone. The feast at the plantation. And it's just Pantiabra in Kaluman and Portstar. Gospel concert gone. And for the sand gone. It's botanical. Not the oval. For the final in the Carol Festival. But thinking not straight. Only the hairstyle don't change. NCF, Carol, Foundation. Hello, Carol, I'm depending on you.
Good good night. Good night to Marcia and the loyal opposition. It's so good to be in the show another time. I I can't pretend I'm anything like Marcia. So I really want to be grateful to be here. And this is not the Karlova, this is National Insurance tonight. I want to thank all of you who have been following this series of presentations on national insurance. Last Wednesday night, I would have started with the pensions, and I didn't get the opportunity to take your questions, to answer your questions last week, but this week I'm hoping to be able to answer the questions that will be posed. Now, let me just make a recap on the contributory pensions that I would have dealt with last week very quickly. And that would be that, persons who would have been gainfully employed and paying contributions during their working life will be entitled to a contributory pension at pensionable age. Pensionable age at present is 67, and that will be changing in 2028 to 67 and a half. This will be the very last slide that I would have given, so that it will be changing to 67 in 2028, and then in 2034 it will be going to 68. So 67 and a half in 2028, 68 in 2034. This would have come about because of challenges to the national insurance scheme, and one of those challenges would have been the $1.3 billion which was written off by the government. It would have been affected by the fact that we have a Asian population but a falling birth rate. It would have been affected by the fact that a lot more people are now self-employed and not paying contributions, and going way back for not the proper management of the national insurance scheme. So those are the changes for age-wise. The other change would be that of the number of contributions necessary to qualify for a pension. And in 2025, at present, you need 560 contributions, as against previously 500. You now need 560, and that changes from 560 all the way down to 750, which would take effect in 2031. So when we're working long, you're going to take longer to qualify for a national insurance contributory pension, and the number of contributions which you need to have will be increasing. And then, rather than the best 5 years, they're using now the best 7 years in 2025, and that will be changing to the best 10 years in 2028. And then last of all, the early pension previously you could apply for early pension, and you were losing 6%. You were using 60%. It would mean now that you'll be losing 8% in 2025, and then from 2026 that will be 9%. So that if you are 63 years of age at present, it means that your pensionable age will still be 67. Your pension age will still be 67, but you will need more contributions now to qualify at age 67. So anyone who would have been 60 prior to 2024, that person's pensionable age will be still 67. But going forward, it will change. Okay. I'm just trying to look at some of the questions as I go along. But I may have to answer some of the questions at the end. Now, it means that for persons who are applying for early pension at age at present, as they said, it is 8%, but it's changing to 9% next year. Now, the minimum contributory pension, which normally changes every January, and this is not a decision by the Prime Minister or any person else. This was a decision taken statutory since 2006, when there was pension reform, that every year there's a cost of living allowance attached to for pensioners, and therefore only outside of a couple of years the amount did not change. But at present the pensionable age is 254, which means that if when you apply for your early pension and the percentage that is taken, that being at present 8%, if the reduction comes to less than 254, you cannot get an early pension. You cannot get an early pension if that amount is less than $254. You may qualify at a later age before 67, where the percentage will change, but at the same time, that's the situation. Now, I would have gone on to the pensions for those who are government pensioners. Government pensioners, once they joined the public service before the 1st of September 1975, they could qualify for 2 pensions, and therefore they could get their pension from the Treasury at 55 and their gratuity. If they joined after 1st September 1975, but they were appointed before July 85, it means that they can still go at 55 with their pension and gratuity, but they will only get 1 pension. All other public officers can retire at age 60. I'm getting a lot of calls because some government departments, some individuals are telling individuals that you have to work up to age 65, up to age 67. That is not correct. Once you are 60 and you have more than 10 years in the public service, then you can apply for your pension and your gratuity. Once you're 60 and over, that did not change in any of the changes at National Insurance, because that's the Treasury. It means that once you apply for your pension and you have 33 and 30 years, you will receive the full gratuity that you are entitled to. If you have 10 years or less than 33 and 30, your gratuity will be calculated based on the number of years that you have. You can continue to work, but it means that if you are over, if you have more than 33 and 30 years, your gratuity will not change other than if there's a raise of salary. Now, once you receive, as I said, your early pension, if you take a pension from the Treasury at age 67, your pension will stop. Your pension will stop, irrespective of the amount that you are getting. Even though there is the information there that National Insurance is paying all pensions, being contributory pensions and Treasury pensions, that is not totally correct, because National Insurance is only facilitating the payment, but all of the other aspects of the Treasury needs to be communicated to the Treasury. So when you press no more than 6 months preferably 4 months before you reach 67 and you're in receipt of a government pension, you need to apply to national insurance yourself. You must make the application. It's not an automatic conversion. And a number of public officers on reaching 67 on their birthday, they are having the unpleasant surprise that they would have only received a cost of living allowance, which may be about $50. And it's going to take approximately maybe 3 months to process a old age contributory pension. So that is very important. Now, there was a question raised in respect of person with BRA. Now, at present, all income is taxable. All income is taxable. With the BRA income tax, pensioners are allowed 40,000. They allow 40,000 tax-free. So it means that because income tax is not deducted from a treasury pension or a national insurance pension, when public officers file annually for income tax, they then have to pay the full income tax necessary of all income over $40,000. And therefore, there has been a call for many years that pensioners should not have to pay income tax on their pensions. And that has been my view. The number of organizations which have been calling for the abolition of taxes on pensions, and therefore I think the call needs to continue going out to government that it is really hard for pensioners who would have worked and contributed towards the national insurance department. There will be those that would have contributed towards their own pension in a pension plan. There will be those who are in receipt of a treasury pension. When the combined pensions are made, then are received, you then have to turn and pay income tax on it. And I don't know, for those who are persons of influence with the government, would be able to encourage government to abolish income tax on pensions. I do know that it's a tremendous revenue earner for the government, because we have an aging population, and there are those who have set aside something for their retirement, but then you are forced now to pay income tax, the same as if you were working for over $40,000 a year. I think it's really hard, and so forth. I would want that the different organizations which represent pensioners, including the Ministry of Social Care, even them, I believe that they have a responsibility. They speak so much of elder abuse, would be willing to petition government for the abolition of income tax. Now, there's also the non-contributory, and I did not get a chance to finish on non-contributory last week. Non-contributory pension is not an automatic right. It is not an automatic right because you are a Barbadian. Now, once you are gainfully employed, and as I shared last week, I believe that this part of the legislation is really illegal, because several persons are being asked now to pay at least $1,200 a year in contributions to get 52 weeks, which means that they have to be earning over $183 per week in earnings. Now, if that same person was working for someone else, they would pay contributions on $21 per week and having one contribution. So while persons who are employed can receive one contribution on $21 a week, for a person that's self-employed, they must be earning on $183 to receive the same one contribution. And there are many individuals in Barbados, many forms of self-employment, because they are gainfully employed, find it difficult, almost impossible, to pay that level of contribution. Now, why am I saying that? Now, once you reach pensionable age and you have not had the number of contributions, as I said, which is 560 at present, to qualify for an old age contributory pension, if you have less than that amount, you can apply for an old age contributory grant, which is a lump sum one-off payment. But then you can apply for the non-contributory pension. All applications for non-contributory pension, the person will be interviewed. The purpose of the interview is, one, to find out what that person was doing between age 16 and pensionable age. Were you physically able to work? Were you being supported by some person for the entire period of time? And 90% of the time, a lot of those persons were self-employed and chose not to pay contributions. That person, having been interviewed, all things equal again, that claim will be sent before the National Insurance Board for them to make a decision, not the National Insurance Department, the National Insurance Board. In almost 99% of the time, those claims come back from the board indicating that that pension is disallowed. The person can appeal against that decision, but I can say to you that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of Barbadians over the age of 67 who at present are not receiving a pension at all. And this is as far as persons who were church ministers, yes. Because if you're a church minister, you are paid by the church, you're supposed to be paying contributions either by the church or paying self-employed. So the number of persons who have that unpleasant surprise at age 67, at age 67 are not in receipt of an old age pension because they would not have qualified for the contributory and they are not going to get the non-contributory. So that's why I see National Insurance is out and about trying to get persons to pay contributions. I applaud them for what they're doing, but I don't know how effective it is because I believe that there are many other opportunities to speak to the issue because we have BMX, we have Argo Fest, there are a number of shows, pop-ups that I believe National Insurance need to have a staff there. Yes, it'll be weekends and they may have to be paying overtime or whatever else, but I think that they need to do that to touch people where they are because a lot of these occasions, there are a tremendous amount of self-employed people. And therefore, it's not about National Insurance trying to collect more contributions. It's about saving these persons from themselves. Because if we cannot get our self-employed person to be paying contributions, then it means that we are going to be supporting them in their old age. We're going to be supporting them because they can be our mothers, our fathers, aunts, uncles, church members, neighbors, some person in our lives. So I would want to encourage persons to get the loved ones who are self-employed to pay contributions so that a non-contributory pension is not an automatic right. It is not an automatic right, so that the persons qualifying for non-contributory pension will be those persons who may be homemakers, who were never gainfully employed. There may be those who chose not to work. Maybe there are those who are part of the special needs group that was included last year. Those being persons who have MS, those who have Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism. Okay, but the person must be a citizen and a permanent resident of Barbados, so that a non-contributory pension can only be paid to an individual 6 months after they've entered the geriatric hospital or the psychiatric hospital or the district hospital. If a person goes into one of those institutions 6 months afterwards, the pension will be stopped. If you leave the island and you receive a non-contributory pension, that pension again will be stopped. Once information reaches National Insurance that that person is out of the island, if they're in one of those government institutions, those government institutions will notify National Insurance through the social worker that that pension will be stopped. Now, I'm going to share my personal opinion because I believe that government is being ripped off by many persons out there who have loved ones who are in one of those institutions. I'm not speaking about non-contributory pension. I'm talking about contributory pension. There are many individuals who are in the geriatric hospital, psychiatric hospital, and the district hospital who are in receipt of a pension. And every month religiously, there are loved ones who use that pension. And in many cases, they do not even visit that loved one. I am of the opinion, and I'd like to share my opinion because somewhere along the line, I believe it will be accepted, that half of that pension, once that person goes in geriatric hospital, and your nationals can't stop it, but the legislation needs to be made that if you're going to be in one of those government agencies being supported by the taxpayers of Barbados, then the pension that that person is entitled to, half should be going to that institution to provide pampers and all of the other stuff that they receive. That family member, the caregiver, whoever is in receipt of that pension, will have the other half to be able to do whatever. And that's been my opinion for very many years, but that's only my opinion. Getting back now to the non-contributory pension. So once you are entitled to one of those pensions, again, you cannot qualify for two pensions at the same time. There are those persons who would have lived outside of Barbados and are returning to Barbados, and you are in receipt of a pension from, or entitled, you are receipt of or entitled to a pension from another country, then you are not entitled to a non-contributory pension in Barbados. So yes, you did not pay enough contributions to get a contributory pension, but you built that other country, then the non-contributory pension, which is not an automatic right, will you cannot receive that pension, and the application form must be signed by a justice of the peace, and you must be living in Barbados a number of years after reaching age 18 and also after reaching age 40. That information you can receive from the National Insurance website or from the office. I'm not going to, get into that right now. Sufficient that if you're in receipt of, because if you indicate that you are not in receipt of that pension, but then you indicate that you are living, or when you apply for the non-contributory pension and you bring all cancelled passports, nationals will write that country, and therefore they will then provide information to the effect that you are that you are receiving or that you are entitled to a pension from that country. Now, on that same note, National Insurance Barbados has a reciprocal agreement with Canada, Quebec, United Kingdom, England, and CARICOM, not the United States. So that if you have worked in one of those other jurisdictions and have paid contributions, and you do not have the required amount, meaning at this year 560, but you worked and paid contributions in those other countries, which brings you to the 560, you will still qualify for a pension. The amount that you have in Barbados will be paid from Barbados, and the amount you have from that other country will be paid in that country. That would involve persons who have worked or are working in Barbados who would have been here from St. Vincent, St. Lucia, who were cutting canes years ago for the influx of Guyanese, Jamaicans, and Haitians. Not Haitians, I don't think Haiti is included, but Guyana and Jamaica as of recent years, for Barbadians who would have worked in Canada, picking fruits and tobacco and whatever else. Those are the individuals that when they reach pensionable age and they are not in receipt of a contributory, do not have enough contributions for a contributory pension, then they would apply there for that contributory pension. So that I see it break down the percentage 6 to 8 to 10%. I'm not able to break that down. I'm not able to break that down in dollars. Let me explain something to you, because I'm glad that MARCIA is back, because I have difficulty reading the questions.
Yes, I could read them for you.
I wasn't certain whether it was MARCIA or Carol.
This is MARCIA Weeks of the MARCIA Week show.
I thank you very much. No, with the changes made in last year.
Yes.
So this year in the budget, where the resilience levy went up and so forth, it took national insurance, I think, by surprise, and it meant that national had to take down its portal. The portal, well, it was still up until last week. I don't know if it came up this week, but it's been off now for a couple of months, and therefore that portal facilitated the estimator, whereby you could go on that estimator and it would give you the amount of your reduced pension at any point, so that if you were going to be 60, if you want to take it, say, next 2 years, you would put in 2027, and therefore it would tell you what your estimated pension would be. If you are 50 and you want to take it at age 60, about 62, it would tell you what your reduced pension would be at age 62. You want, so there's no way of anyone indicating what the amount would be percentage wise, because you're looking at the combination of all earnings between when you commence paying contributions and at this present moment. So it will give you two figures, what it would be right now. So it may say you're entitled to an early pension of, say, $260 per week, but it will also say that you're entitled to a pension of, say, $400 at pensionable age. So you have an idea of the amount that you're losing if you take it right now, and that would be calculated based on the earnings that are presently in the computer system. But obviously, if you continue to work, the percentage, you'll be losing a lesser percentage, more contributions coming in, and therefore your reduced pension would end up being more, and your pensionable age amount would end up being more again, because you're and it's a tremendous disadvantage to a lot of individuals at present, because that estimator gives individuals the opportunity to make that crucial decision on whether to retire now or to wait to pensionable age. And so I'm saying that I would want that national to get that back up and running like almost yesterday. It is critical. I have a lot of calls where people want my advice, but I say cannot tell you what to do because there are no figures available. I can only tell what the percentage would be, but the dollars and cents, no. You want what I'm saying?
Yeah. But and so that person, you're basically saying that the computer, what's on the site would calculate it for them once the site comes back up.
Correct.
Okay.
So you just the person will just need to sign in on the portal or go to the National Insurance Office, and the officer will be able to do the calculation. It just takes about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. It's very, very quick. And it's almost correct. It's an estimator, yes, but it's not very far out. It's just a matter of cents out. It is that correct. It's been that correct. So therefore, you would have to make the decision to retire early, and then you'll be told how much you are entitled to. But it means that you may not be entitled to it at all, because it may come to less than the 254. If you have receipt of a early pension and you want to go back to work, you can. You just need to write to their international indicate that you've gone back to work. They will stop the early pension, and then when you stop again, whether before pensionable age or another early pension, then it will be recalculated and you'll have a new amount. But you would have to and you cannot apply for the non-contributory until after you've finished work, because the application form asks your last day of work. The justice of the peace who has to sign that form must sign it the day after you start work. It cannot be applied for in advance. It cannot be a contributory pension at pension age can be applied early, but not an early pension.
Yes, thank you. Charmaine Taylor is asking, it's saying, I'm 63 years. At what age will I be able to apply for pension?
Okay. Any person who was 60 before 2024 will be 67. Will be 67. So it will be changing in 2028 to 67 and 6 months. So she can apply for it now if she wants an early pension, but if not, she would have to wait until she's 67 to receive the full pension, and then she can apply for that pension 4 months before she reaches age 67.
Yes. Okay. Somebody says here, Mr. Strickland, why is it that persons who haven't paid in enough contributions can't get but who didn't pay a cent getting pension. Explain.
We have a social responsibility to Barbadians. Now, there's a term, housekeeper. I mean, housewife. I do not subscribe to that word, housewife. I subscribe to homemakers.
Mm-hmm.
We have individuals who we would say they have not paid a cent, but they have raised fantastic families. They have made more of a contribution sometimes to society than those who are gainfully employed. And therefore, as citizens of Barbados, that person has a right to a pension that they can boldly apply for, rather than have to go to the welfare department and in some cases be treated less than human. And therefore, for any person who is asking that question, I believe that that person has, and the other person have loved ones in their lives who have not paid a contribution to the National Insurance Department, but have contributed to this country. And the non-contributory pension is not paid out of the National Insurance Fund. Let me make that clear. The non-contributory pension is not paid out of the National Insurance Fund. The non-contributory pension is paid from the Treasury Fund. It's paid from the Treasury Fund. It is facilitated at the National Insurance Department, but it is paid out of the consolidated fund through the Treasury, and therefore that's what because the Treasury has to refund national insurance, and it's for those persons who may not have made a contribution to the National Insurance Fund, to the National Insurance Department, but they have a right, once they are citizen of Barbados, they have a right to receive a pension, and that pension is a non-contributory pension, and it will never change. It means that we, well, not myself because I'm a pensioner at present, but all working persons in Barbados, part of your contribution is that towards the non-contributory pension is taken from the National Department and sent to the Treasury, so that those persons who qualify for that pension, and I explained earlier, those who will not qualify, those who may be self-employed and so forth, that they can receive their pension. Any other questions at this point?
Yes, Mr. Strickland. DeVere Smith is asking, saying, Brother Strickland, can you show examples given the relevant years like 2025, 2028, 2034? Do you want us to put back up the
it was the very last slide that I
the very
gave
last
to you.
slide, Dave?
The very last slide. Okay, I know it's fine. I don't know if they're able to read it, but I'm going to.
Right. I think I know. It was a separate slide, right?
It was a separate slide. Yes.
It's the one that's separate. Okay. Let's see.
One is separate. Okay. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to get that slide up. But in essence, those were the changes that were done in at the beginning of 2024 for the changes from one, the age, pensionable age will be changing, will be in 2028, we'll be moving from 67 to 67 and 6 months. In 2034, it'll be going to 68, and it should remain there. As I said last week, there was a time when I would have said to persons that it would never move from 65, but there were those who proved me wrong. Okay. Now, for the early pension was at age 60 previously. At present, 2025, early pension is now 61. So it'll be 61 in 25, 26, and 27. In 2028, it will go to 62. So the earliest time that you can receive, this is the slide, correct. In 2028, it'll be going to age 62. So the earliest time you can receive a pension, or early pension, will be 62. And that will be for 28, 29, and 30. In 31, it'll be going to 63. And it should remain at 63 from there on. So that the earliest time you can get a pension at present is 60, but it'll be going to 62 in 28 and 63 in 2031. I'll repeat the next column, which is the number of the number of
Mr.
contributions.
Strickland, Mr.
Go
Strickland,
ahead.
just a minute, because we've just put it on the screen, and I know some people like me, we like to see things. We have to
Okay.
see it to understand. Can you just start over? And
Okay. Right. No.
no, that I'm
No
sorry,
problem.
sir. Yes, thank you.
It's okay. That's okay. Right.
Yes.
As I said, in 2025, because we are 25, it changed in 25, so that the earliest time that you can get a pension is at age 61.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
61,
at age
right.
61. No, let me go to the first column before. Now,
Yeah.
pension age at present is 67. Okay,
Yes.
it's going to change in 2028 to 65 and 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
65 and 6 months, and then in 2034 it's changing to 68. Okay, which is that first column.
Yes.
The second column, the early pension, 2025, it is age 61. It'll be 61 for 25, 26, and 27.
That's
In 2020,
the earliest you can get the pension.
get a pension, correct. In
Mhm.
2028, it's going to 62. It'll be 62 for 28, 29, and 30. In 3031 is going to 63, and it should remain there until another political decision might be made. Okay.
Right.
Now we are going to the number of contributions necessary, which is the fourth column.
So hold a second. Though you have in the second column is your actual the pensionable age is in the second column, but
Second
it's in the
column,
third
correct.
column. You're looking at early pension, but the
Early
pensionable
pension,
age,
correct.
right,
Correct.
starts at 67.
67.
Yeah.
No, the second column is 67 in 2025. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Then across you see in 2025, 61. That's the early pension.
Mhm.
Okay. So you can get a pension at age 60 any early pension at 60 any longer. It's not 61. Okay. And that comes right down to those years that I would have just indicated. We go further across now to the next column, which is the number of contributions you need to have to qualify for a pension at age 67. This is at age 67. This is nothing to do with early pension now, because you can have 1,000 contributions, but still not qualify for an early pension. Because when the reduced pension is made, it comes to less than 254. So persons may believe that because they have 560 contributions, they can get an early pension. That's not correct. This column is only to qualify for an early pension at pensionable age, which is at 67, 67 and a half, or 68. Okay.
Understood.
So we're going
Yes.
down now. So we're going down the number of contributions necessary for the different years, which will be at 2025, you need 560, 2026, 590, 2027, 620, 2028, 650, 2029, 680, 2030, 710, 2031, 750, and it will continue on.
Wow.
750, which is 15 years contributions. Again, I'm giving my personal opinion. I have no problem with this increase, because you can have a person that pay only 500 contributions, receive a pension at pensionable age, and live to 100. It means that that person is receiving all of that pension for that period of time. And this is now from a fund that the younger generation are continuing to pay to. So because we have an Asian population, if that amount, and between age 16 and pensionable age, everyone has a good opportunity to pay contributions for at least 15 years. So I personally do not believe it is unreasonable. 10 years is really pushing the fund under a lot of pressure, because any person receiving a minimum pension of $254 per week, that person is receiving a tremendous amount every year in contributions and pensions. So we have, the fund must be kept relevant. This has nothing to do with any political decisions. No. So that the next column after that, which is the best 5 years, which is the second, I'm ignoring the other columns in there, and I'm going straight down to the second last column. Okay? Because the ones in there is a bit confusing and so forth for most persons.
With their current rates, yes.
Okay, right. Okay, but we are going to the second last column, which is in 2025. You're using, previously you were using the best 5 years. The best 5 years are the 5 years at any point in the person's working career contributions. Because in other words, a person could have worked at a particular job up to age 60 at a very high paying job, but then go on to work at a lower paying job after that. For persons who work in sectors where they are paid on commission, 1 year may be a lot greater than another year. So which was previously the best 5 years wherever they're located, that has changed now to the best 7 years in 2025, the best 8 years in 2026, the best 9 years in 2027, and the best 10 years in 2028. And that will continue on. So the best years has been changed from 5 years going up now to the best 10 years. And then last of all, the percentage loss for the early pension, because remember we would have just said that the early pension is now age 61. Previously you were losing 6% per year. That has changed from 2024, so that in 2025 you're losing 8% if you take it at age 61. In 2026 you'll be losing 9% after that. So any year after from 2026, you'll be losing 9% per year. That has put thousands of pensioners in a very bad situation, because once you are losing 9% at age 61, and the pension age at present is 254, and if it was to less than 254, you can't get an early pension. You can imagine as the years go up and the percentage loss increases, and pensioners may receive a higher income, and your pension may be raised, less and less persons will be qualifying for early pension. So even though it's available, less and less persons will qualify for early pension. Okay? Okay, Marcia?
Yes, sorry, my mic was muted.
Right, no problem.
Very comprehensive. What I say to people is this: take a screenshot of this, gentle people, those who didn't do this last week. Take a screenshot, whatever you still have questions on it. Message me, and I know Mrs. Strickland will speak to you about it. But let's we have another we have another 17 minutes or so.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Strickland, there's a question here that Yvette Lane is answering. I don't know if you answered this while I was off. I received a disablement. Am I entitled to 2 pensions at 67? I think you answered this some time ago, but go ahead.
Now, there are 2 pensions that persons mix them up. First, there's a disablement pension, which is a pension that you can apply for if you were injured on the job, which you can get a disablement and continue to work. Okay, but I think what most persons are asking about is invalidity. Now, as I said last week, in 2010, under the previous government, the persons that were receiving 2 pensions, an invalidity and pension from the Treasury, one was stopped. That being the one from the Treasury. When this government came in, and that was illegal, when this government came in, the Prime Minister forced the Treasury to reinstate that pension from the Treasury to those individuals. So they have been receiving an invalidity pension and a Treasury pension. At age 67, the Treasury will stop all pensions, and therefore, if the pension the person was receiving from the Treasury is more than the one from National Insurance, then the Treasury will pay the difference between what they're receiving from National Insurance and what they were already getting from the Treasury. But if the amount that they were getting from the Treasury is less than the amount that they are now getting from National Insurance, then they'll only be receiving one pension. And it's a very painful. I had one of my relatives only last week. I had to speak to that issue, and she's feeling the hard pinch because you were used to living on two pensions up to age 67, and at age 67 they've lost that one, and no one prepares them for it. Hardly anybody prepares them for it. They just receive less on their account at that present moment.
Yes. CD is asking, are the best years the number of years up to the maximum monthly NIS contributions or the actual monthly salary? How do they determine?
A very good question. And because national is so exhaustive, now I would have indicated that there's a minimum pension. There's also a minimum. So you pay on a minimum of $21 per week. Sorry, but you also pay on a maximum of $5,280 at present. Now, that maximum has changed over the years from 2006, when the maximum was $3,000, so that the computer will pick up whichever is the maximum earnings for the year, which will be up to a maximum of $5,280 per month. Now, National is not aware of the salary of individuals, which is more than $5,280. Well, that's what's caused this problem with the changes, because you now have to pay the, can't remember the exact name, but the resilience levy. The resilience levy up on your maximum salary. So the maximum salary is not reported to National Insurance. So the individuals, when preparing for retirement, are expecting a pension from National Insurance based on their gross income, have a very unpleasant surprise, because that person would have had a gross salary of, say, $10,000. They're expecting a pension from National Insurance on $10,000, but National Insurance would only have had a maximum of $5,280 for 2025, $5,220, 2024, I think and it went further down. So your best 5 years are not all at $5,000, and the maximum pension you can get is 60%. So you're moving from a lifestyle of, say, $10,000 a month to a lifestyle of about maybe $4,000 a month. So that's why persons are encouraged to have some other form of income during their retirement years, either investments, either a life insurance policy, and some other form of income, so as to supplement what they're going to be receiving from National Insurance. Once you've had a lifestyle of over $5,080, it will not be maintained by National Insurance Department.
Okay, thank you. Wow. Celia B says, if someone that is 61 years and have 412 contributions, will they be able to qualify for a pension if they continue to work?
Okay. If the person has how many contributions?
412.
400. If the person has 412, depending on again when they could be reaching pensionable age. So if they can working pension, if they can,
they're saying that they're 61. They're
61
down.
If they're 61, between 61 and 68, that's 7 years. Okay, 7 5 is 35. That is 350 to 400 and whatever else. That person is very, very close to 750. That person is close to 750. So the person, no, you say the person is 61?
Yes.
Because if this person is 61, they were not 61 in 2024, which means
Right.
that, but they said this person is very, very close to the number of contributions. But I would strongly suggest the person, if the person is working, continue to pay contributions. I would have to sit down and work that out, which I don't have the time right now to work that out for the person. But what you can do is to message me that information so that I'll be able to work that out for that person, and they would know whether they continue working every week, every month, if they will have enough contributions at the given year to qualify. You want
Yes.
to say, because it will take me some time to
To
calculate
work
that.
it
And I
out.
wouldn't want
Well,
to do
let
that
me
for that
just
one
tell
person.
her, Celia, please give me a call, 236-7000, Celia B. And Mr. Strickland, I know I can guarantee is going to help you. All right. Sharon Innes is asking, why is it when you work part-time for government that no NIS or tax is being taken out? You are still being told to pay yourself.
I don't know whether the Minister of Labor can answer that question or not. Marcy, you have to excuse me, but that's something that I ask also. We have the Minister of Labor boldly proclaiming that there are those employers, especially in the construction industry, who deem person to be self-employed. Government has been doing it and continue to do it during the period when they were the ash workers. As a matter of fact, on Tony Moore's political platform, when she was running,
Mm-hmm.
the Prime Minister made this statement that they were going to be bringing on home care workers, and they were going to be paying them a stipend. No national was ever paid for them. And I think they changed and they started to some extent. Now, this is the head of the Barbados Workers Union on her political platform, I dare say. And the Prime Minister made that statement. There are still persons, as this individual indicated, that are being put on certain contracts where they're not paying national insurance.
Yes.
I would suggest that that person has a difficulty, go to the National Insurance Office. National has lawyers, they have a compliance section, and they will be able to advise them accordingly how to proceed. Okay? But
Yes.
that's not something that any ordinary staff member at National Insurance can answer, but the Minister of Labor may be in a position, Ms. Tony Moore or Mrs. Tony Moore may be in a position to answer, the Prime Minister may be able to answer, but none of us can answer that. And they are acting as employers also. They're going to give a lot of fancy words, but contract of service, contract of whatever else, but it boils down to the fact that those persons are told when to come to work. They're told when to come to work, when they're supposed to leave. The business place does not belong to them. All the conditions under which a person is employed is there. And therefore, I don't see how those persons can be self-employed.
Yes.
But that's what is happening.
Yeah. Well, there's a question here. We only have 8 more minutes, guys. And after at 8:30, we're scheduled to go back to look at the announcer, Starcom, and we're going to look at the National Carol Festival song. So we have another couple minutes. There's a question here on the screen. Emerson Bryan is asking, he said, "Good night. I'm eager to know what happens to the amount paid towards NIS after you have done the 33 and a third years. I am now in my 41st year."
Not paid to national insurance. That person mostly is speaking to the Treasury, not the national insurance, because in other words, what that person is saying that they are working, they've been working past 33 and 30 years. They're now at 40 years working in government, and what happens to that money? Now, that's gratuity. That's gratuity, or they receive of a government pension. There is no legislation in Barbados which requires any employer to pay any employee a pension. So there's a contract of service between some private employers and their employees, either directly or through a trade union, that they receive a pension age, whether it's at 65 and in some cases at age 60 or 67. government has a contract with the Barbados Workers Union and the NUPW that persons who work for government receive a pension after age 60. Okay? It's calculated on a maximum of 30 years. If you continue to work after 30 years, it will still be paid on 30 years, your gratuity. Your pension, which is half your salary, is paid after age 60 upon age 67. So you need to know that you are in a contract from the time you started. That contract continues, and you are privileged. You are privileged, as I was privileged, to be working for an employer, being government, and not in the private sector, where I'm entitled to a pension at age 60. And while in the, yes, we know that the parliamentarians get theirs earlier, but again, that's legislation that was passed, and there are those who pass legislation for their own benefit. If government workers would want that it be changed, they would have to petition the NUPW and the Barbados Workers Union to approach government to have that changed. But that is the legislation as it stands right now.
Yes. What else? Colin King has a long one here. Let me move this so I can see it. I have a brother that worked at one of the government departments before 1970. He was receiving 2 pensions, but late last year, he didn't receive one of the pensions for about 5 months or so, but it has started back now. So can I take him to the national insurance to see exactly which check it was, so he would be able to receive those checks that he didn't receive?
Okay. If he was receiving 2 checks, one lodgements, one would have been coming from the Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
If he's in doubt that if it is the one from the Treasury that stopped, he has to go to the Treasury to check to see why that one would stop. If it was at National Insurance Office, he needs to go to the National Insurance Office. One of the things is that a lot of individuals either come on the Marcia Week show, or they sit at home and they call rather than leaving their comfort and go to the National Insurance Office to have their matters addressed. And they make no apologies for it, because the same staff at the National Insurance Office, which is dealing with those persons sitting there in present, have to also be answering the telephones. And therefore, I don't see how difficult it is for a person to leave or get a representative to go to National Insurance and check to find out why the one pension has been stopped. You want to say because you're going to be given preferential treatment because you are there, and then any question, any information that the staff member may need to have may then either the person or their representative can provide that information. But that's not something that I can answer here, or that the person might get an answer, may get through at times because of the volume of calls that National Insurance receives all day long. And that's a reality. That's not in defense of the department. That's a reality, because I worked in customer service for many, many years. I worked in benefit section for many years, and I know the difficulty that phone calls make on your ability to be able to be processing claims and answering questions with the limited staff that National has. National has a very small staff, because you are managing a fund of over $4 billion. You're paying over 40,000 pensioners every month. You're receiving over 5,000 claims every month. Okay, you have to invest that money, collect that money, the whole works. You have compliance officer go is a very small staff. So therefore, persons need to understand that if you have a concern, it's not that difficult to get to Colonial Road and sit to have your matter addressed.
Yes. Okay. Eva, this is the last question that we will answer for tonight. What I would love for, if anybody can help us out, which you did, some people did it for me last week. I see Miss Angela Knight there. I see VO is there. I see Kamar is there. Not sure if Michelle is there. If anybody can take any questions for us and just send it to me, so I send it to Mrs. Strickland, right? And then what we're going to do, Mrs. Strickland, they've asked for an hour, and we gave you an hour tonight. Actually, a little over an hour. So hour and 5 minutes. So that's what we're going to have to do, because this is too important for people. Okay. The last question from Miss Yvette Lane. I received this disablement. Will I get 2 pensions at 67?
Again, I'm not certain whether she's using the correct word there, meaning disablement or invalidity. In order for her to receive disablement pension, it means that she would have had to have been injured on the job and has received a percentage loss of her body function of more than 30%, 30% or over. And that's not a lot of people. So if she's in receipt of a disablement where the percentage that she lost of her body function is 30% or over, then she will end up, she will continue to have two pensions after age 67. But if she's in receipt of an invalidity pension, she will only receive one pension after age 67.
Yes, yes. Tell you what, folks, remember those who, if you can help me out, guys, by taking pictures, Miss Knight or V Hoy or any of you who normally help me can take the questions because we really want to help people. And I will send them to Mrs. Strickland. And next week, God willing, we will have another 1 hour. And
No, no,
we probably,
sorry, Marcia. Sorry,
yeah,
Marcia.
yeah.
First, I'm gonna say good night. Good night to Angela Knight. She was a former member of the National Insurance staff, a lawyer at the National Insurance Department, so she's well aware of a lot of the things that I am speaking about. But next week, sorry, our church has its convention,
Oh,
and next Wednesday night I will be at church. I had to rush from church tonight from prayer meeting to get here for 7:25. But next Wednesday night I will be at a church in St. Andrew, so I will not be available next Wednesday night. But God willing, the one after that I should be back again.
yeah,
So
wonderful.
sorry to have to
This
share
is
that
excellent.
information at this present moment.
Mr. Strickland, this is excellent. Really, really excellent. And the viewer who said, Marcia, he needs an hour. Thank you for that. See, it's your suggestions, and it worked really beautifully. And we will make sure when you come back, you get your 1 hour so that we can, the questions can come in. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Strickland. It's been wonderful. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for having me again. All right, have a
Yes,
blessed
sir.
night.
Yes, sir. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful job. And folks, please take a picture. Those of you who can help me out with the questions, and I will send them to Mr. Strickland. Right? So let's do that. Okay. Thank you so much. I know you will help me with that. Well, folks, we are going to be talking about the media. We're going to talk about crop over. We're going to talk about um, the announcer. All of that, what has occurred over the last, what's it? Is it 24 hours? A little more than 24 hours that I got the news. Okay. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I've been getting a lot of questions and concerns about it, and we want to talk together tonight and to break it down. I did try to get some Calypsonians on, and some of them had meetings, rehearsals, all kinds of different things, and I know some of them don't want to get involved. But I do have the president of BACA, who should be joining me very soon. This is Sean Carter. I'm going to ask Dave to check with him to make sure that he is, he's gotten everything he needs to get in order to come in. Yes, he did say, okay, we'll do. Dave, if you could check on Sean Carter as soon as possible. Right? Okay. Now, last night, as you heard, I said on the program last night, those of you, well, not the program, I did a quick live last night, yesterday evening at 7 o'clock, or I think probably about 6:50. I did the live yesterday, and because it's important, I was just laying down in bed, relaxing a little bit, and then I saw someone sent me some information, and I double checked to make sure that it was true. Actually, Glenn Murray sent it to me, and I know usually when he sends me things like that, this is pretty serious. And so when we checked into it, we recognized that, wow, this sounds like it's something that is very, very serious. And then when I checked, I found out that it is so that this thing happened. And what it was is that Starcom decided that the song, the National Carol Festival, would not be broadcasted on their on none of their stations. That it has been banned and it will not be broadcasted on any of the stations. And the reason that was reported, and this is alleged because we are still waiting on a formal report or response from Starcom Network. What was alleged is that it has that Starcom has placed priority on the commercial consideration and image of its client. And I want you, if you're taking notes, I want you to write down the word priority. Okay, so we are saying, but this is Starcom not giving that official statement, but this is what's been alleged. Okay, so we want to look at that tonight. Priority, commercial consideration. So I'm giving you what we were told, and we're waiting for that official word from Starcom. Priority, commercial consideration, and image of its clients. And while we wait on Mr. Sean Carter, aka Apache, to join us, he is the president of BACA. I want us to start together. We're going to work together, folks, and break this down together. All right. So, priority. So it's going to place priority. So above all else. Above all else. And what is above all else? What is the above all else? Now, the glaring thing that is in the room would be whether the song is defamatory. Is it libelous? Now, as we are working through these three seemingly these three two reasons or three reasons that's given in that little short paragraph there, let's look at how what are the guidelines that would determine if or when or a song is banned on a radio station. So there's a Telecommunications Act. There's a Telecommunications Act, okay? That's the law that governs all radio stations. Number one, stations must have a license to operate, okay? And that license, obviously, they get the license from the government. And that license states through the Telecommunications Act that they must avoid broadcasting anything that is obscene or indecent. So listen, and we're going to go through to see whether this song is obscene or indecent. So anything that is obscene or indecent. So think about the song. Think about the song, and we played it earlier. We played the song earlier, and we're going to play it a little later in the program. Is it promoting violence, hatred, or lawlessness? So I'm reading from the Act. I'm reading picking out sections of the Act, okay? The Telecommunications Act. Is the song likely to cause panic or public disorder? It is what is being broadcasted. Will it cause panic or public disorder? Again, all of us we're on. Most of us on. You've heard the song. So anybody can say whether the song has any of those things? Okay. So let me go back to the act again. Radio content is expected to reflect national values, right? Sometimes the ministry officials, whichever the minister that is over communications, I should have looked that up before I came on, may issue verbal warnings or pressure stations behind the scenes. So you do have ministry oversight over the radio station. So in addition to the broadcasting regulations or the Telecommunications Act, there is the ministry, right? And the ministry that governs broadcasting sometimes will issue a verbal warning to the radio station, or they will pressure the station behind the scenes. Okay, so while we don't, there's no real, from my research, and if Mr. Glenn Murray is listening or anybody else, you can correct me. I know there's a lawyer watching. There doesn't seem to be any broadcasting authority. Am I right in that? That's what my research says. But more of a cultural, like a cultural gatekeeping that happens, okay? And the ministry gives an oversight, right? Now, so anybody? Okay, Sharon Innes said none. Okay, somebody wants us to play the song again. So, Yuslin, we're going to play it again. Let me just complete this section, and then we're going to play it again. And I want you to, if you can, if you're able to write down Chantel Monroe Knight is over that ministry. Thank you, Dave. Right, okay. All right. So somebody here saying that the lyrics are true, Carol hairstyle, and every word is true. Right. Okay. All right. No problem. All right. But let's go back to what I was going through. Okay. Now, in a practical way, how are songs banned? Right? There's no real transparent public process because, as I said, my research is saying there's no true broadcasting authority, but there is ministry oversight. Okay? And I'm being told that Chantel Monroe Knight is a minister that is responsible. That's what I'm being told. Right? How do they get banned? One, the station managers or DJs may screen the lyrics. All right? So this is what happens generally. Complaints from the public or government may lead to removal. Complaints from the public or the government may lead to removal. Some songs are sometimes quietly pulled without any explanation. You just don't hear them much. And Dave and I, we were talking about that as we were listening on the radio, that there's some songs they are choosing to play more than some. You know, we recognize that, you know, and we can tell those that are in favor of the government and those that are not. Because then they, you know, as I'm saying here, sometimes The banned in quotation might be that they are quietly pulled without any explanation. We just don't hear them much anymore. So it's what you call soft bans. So soft bans, these are common. No law is broken, but the song just disappears. Yeah? Right? So we say that, and then, there's some legal risk for artists and broadcasters alike. So both the radio station and the artist, right, can face some legal action, legal risks. Okay? If you have song that has broken the defamation laws, where you're naming in the song and accusing individuals, right? And we know we're not doing a show tonight on the defamation laws. I know that is something that there's one, I just can't remember right now, but someone had asked us to do that. Adrian Hines is wanting to do a segment on the defamation laws, right? But the real issue, so here's the real issue, and then Dave, you can get the song ready, and we're going to listen to the song again, all right? And we're listening to the song with all of this in mind, all right? But the real issue is this: sometimes songs are not banned because they're offensive or that they are defamatory. Sometimes songs are banned because they're truthful. For example, music that challenges the government, music that exposes corruption, songs that gives voice to the voiceless often faces silent censorship, where they get that soft ban. There's a quiet pull because there are no legal issues with the song. Okay? And so it is important. What can we do? It is important that we support artists who speak through truth through music. Sometimes it's good to call the station and ask the station, why am I not hearing this particular song? Because there are things that we can do as well. Well, we demand transparency and ask who decides what we can hear. Call the radio station and find out who decides what we can hear. Put pressure on them, right? Freedom of expression must be protected. If we let them silence the music, they'll silence the people next. That's why our Calypsonians are so important. And that's why I got out of my bed yesterday evening to do a live. Because when you silence the music, very soon after, they'll silence the people next. Yes? So, with that said, let's listen to the song one more time. This is so, with all that we've said, right? Let us listen to the song. Now, while Dave is getting the song ready, I spoke to a lawyer this morning about the song. Because I'm going to do my homework, right? I spoke to a lawyer. I was told that the song was presented. I was told by the president of BACA that the song, and this is the organization that governs Calypsonians in Barbados. And Mr. Sean Carter's told me that the song has been through 3 lawyers. And I called a lawyer this morning after 7 o'clock, and who told me hands down, Marcia, there's no lyric in this song that's defamatory. There's nothing in the song that he said, far from. It is a piece of art, he said. It's artistic. Okay? So, just so you know. But let's listen to the song again, folks.
promo for a radio show. I remember kitchen and in a minor was the event on which it was set. But over the course of time and history, brilliant performance unveiled the mystery of Carol Robertson, style and grace and flair. When she left, I went to the NCF, and it's happy come over, no, happy Carol over. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Semi-finals gone, 2 songs in competition. I can't even change this one.
Carol Festival.
Jump from the stadium, turn left at Cumbermere gone. And the people in Station Hill can't even make a little berry in the Carol Festival. But thinking not strange, Carol loves to innovate and change. NCF, Carol,
NCF,
Foundation. Oh, Carol, I am not a fool. She hit the ground running, eager beaver, ever ready. Classic with the crown, spotting the light on she. Innovation, 1 song, and more money. Imagine Carol in charge previously. Mr. Harding or Sugar made us free. Would be the dilemma facing our people. Gabby, Jack, Calypso, Kumba, love you, all me want to know. 1 song to sing, I don't mind, child would have been king. And it's happy come over, no, happy Carol over. Yeah. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Kahobla are gone, the kings and the queens gone. It's a soca orgy of peck after peck after peck after peck. It's the Carol Festival. Party mother gone, soca mother gone. No proper platform for future soca stars in the Carol Festival. But thinking not strange, Soca 5.0 is change. People with inquiring mind ask me why I'm wasting time on Carol, the cultural diva Carol. Nothing on cost of living, whole town history vanishing, but it's Carol. No murder and crime, just Carol. The PM flights, 93, over 1 million in travel fee, but it's Carol. Not a friends in bank, just Carol. But if Carol knows so much about Calypso, how come she never write a Calypso? A witty ditty with a melody so pretty in the PM in the melody with a mighty Foundation. Seminar, webinar, workshop, residency. Jackie open with Dr. Stefan, Arsenal fan. Freedom Park, season of emancipation. Amphitheater for Marcus Garvey, the great man. Work worthy of appreciation. I applaud, I praise, I commend. A Carol played, she descending Calypsonian. How many judging nights did Carol even attend? It's happy come over, no, happy Carol over, yeah. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Cultural village gone, the feast at the plantation, and it's just Anti-Ambra in Kaduma like Porn Star. Gospel concert gone, pan for the sand gone. It's botanical, not the oval, for the final in the Carol Festival. But thinking not straight, only the hairstyle don't change. NCF, Carol, Hello, Carol. I'm depending on you.
Every time I hear this song, I have to I have to laugh. I don't know where Carol went tonight. She's gone. You know, but listen, folks, we have heard the song again, and a lot of us have listened to it several times. And I think that's why, you know, because we've heard the song and we're trying to find where is the defamation, where is it obscene, where is it you know, how is it going to cause public discord, you know, all the things that I mentioned there. If we're to look at it, we don't hear anything like that in that. Well, I don't hear, let me not say we, I don't hear anything promoting violence. There's nothing obscene, nothing indecent, hatred, lawlessness, nothing that is going to cause people to panic. You know, well, probably only Carol, or, you know, public disorder. But the panic they're talking about is public panic, right? So we don't, there's nothing of that sort. In fact, the announcer has in there a part of a verse that praises her, you know, for the different things that she's accomplished. So the song to me is very balanced. And it's a song that is advocating for the what the Calypsonians, what it is that they want. And there are some things that they want, and I agree with you, me Matt. We're looking at the cyber bill. They're getting ready with the cyber bill. That is this whole thing is also saying to us. Okay, there is that it's almost, you could smell it, you know. There's that smell, whiff of the cybercrime bill that's happening there, right? Now, one of the other areas, so we talk about priority. So they say at this moment, what is priority? And I think I am figuring that they're saying what they are focusing on, what is priority. And if you're making something priority, then it means that you are elevating this particular thing over some other matters. And so I think my belief is that the matters that they're now elevating this particular thing over would be whether the song is defamatory, if it's obscene, and you know, all the different things that we just spoke about, because it's none of those things. So they say, okay, well, we're making priority our commercial consideration. So they have forgotten about the law. They've forgotten about broadcasting guidelines now. They've forgotten all about that. What is priority for us? This is my understanding. This is how I'm understanding it. What is priority for us is our commercial considerations. And I know that people from Starcom, you are watching, and we would love to understand. We, the public, the customers of Starcom would like to understand, are you making priority commercial considerations in determining whether the song is going to be played on the air? Starcom, this is your question. We're asking you questions. And when we talk about commercial considerations, what are we talking about? Anybody, what do you think they're talking about? Starcom, we don't understand. What do you mean by commercial considerations? Commercial considerations. So we are here talking about advertising. Commercial. What's the commercial activity of a radio station? We're in class together. What's a commercial? What's a commercial activity of a radio station? Or what are the activities? Advertising dollars. recording. Probably they said they do recording space. You can rent a recording space. What else really? A radio station, what advertising really, recording, studio time. Okay, so is there anything else that's a commercial activity at a radio station? They might put on events, right? They put on events and to raise money that way as well. Okay. I think we're covering the basics. So are we saying here that they are afraid that their commercial, that the radio advertising, that the advertising dollars would be decreased? The advertising dollars will be, they're going to cut the advertising dollars. They're worried that it might be cut. Yes, advertising in number one. Money. Okay. So all right. So we're working with what we have here. We're working. So Starcom, let us know. Is it that you're concerned, Starcom, about your advertising dollars? It's a question. I know you're watching. I know you got people watching this program tonight. Guys, are you sharing? Okay, so let's break it down then. Let's break it down. I like to do that. Guys, are you sharing the live? So are we saying then, if what we have here is what Starcom is saying, is Starcom saying that we're making as a priority advertising dollars, commercial considerations? We are concerned about advertising dollars. Would you agree? Yeah? Advertising dollars. Secondly, so I think we could agree on that based on the comment. Yes. So Mr. Bob is saying they are afraid that the government will pull ads and this will affect their income. I love when we do it like this, because we're thinking. It's not somebody here telling you, but we're thinking and we're contributing. Think about it. Those of you at home, you're probably in your bed watching, etc. You might be a business person. Think about it. So priority, commercial consideration, advertising dollars, ching, 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 money. And then the next thing that they're making priority, because we moved from that, is the image of its client. The image of our client. Who is the client in this scenario? Who is the client in this scenario? The image of its client. Who is the client? Anybody? Who is the client? The government? Specifically, who? Because the song didn't say, no, the client is not Carol. The client is not Carol. Somebody say, well, depending on how you look at that, Tanisha, you might be being quite cheeky there, because this is a national carol festival. So the client, but if we're not being cheeky, it's going to be the National Cultural Foundation. Supposed to be the National Cultural Foundation. So is it that? So let's keep working this, guys. So is it that Starcom is making a priority advertising dollars, securing their advertising dollars, and protecting the image of the NCF? Anybody else gathered that from what you listen, what I read? Is it that? And so this is a question we're asking Starcom tonight, because you're making a priority. You made no mention. Well, we don't know of any mention about the song being defamatory, libelous, obscene, any of those things. Okay, because public discord, mayhem, nothing of those things. So then we are here talking about advertising dollars. Okay, and we don't want to. We believe that the image of our client is at stake here. And someone wrote here, Africa Bridge TV, crop over is a big advertising season for radio station. Money is coming in and the rating count. Okay. So is it that what Starcom is worried about? And if that is what Starcom is worried about, I want to say to us as the public, if that is what Starcom is worried about, the public, as a public, we have a lot of questions there, because we now have to wonder, the media who is supposed to be the media who is supposed to be that who's supposed to be transparent and all of those, what they call them, the fourth estate, right, should not be compromised, right? It should be the media should be free and all of these things that we should be able to believe that the media is not compromised in any way. Should we start worry that there were some other things that we did not hear because of advertising dollars and because of the image of their clients? Is there any other scenario? Do you understand the question I'm asking? Do you think that's a fair question to ask? Are we to believe that there's a possibility that there are other scenarios where they made priority commercial consideration and the image of their client over what is the right thing to broadcast, over what is truth? Somebody says the NCF is an arm of the government, and these radio stations get a lot of funding from the government. Right? And somebody said, Carol is a representative of the NCF, so she's a representative of their client. Yeah? Yeah, I'm aware that Apache is here. I'm just completing something that I'm doing here, and then I'm going to bring Apache in. Yeah. Somebody's asking, who are the directors of Starcom? And this person is saying they should explain commercial considerations, right? Who is the commercial considerations? Just reading a couple more. The ultimate client is the people of Barbados. It's not the NCF or the government. They're spending the people's money. The business sector spends where the public patronage is greatest. VI said radio needs listeners. Us, the people, we need to support our local artists. All right? Okay, interesting. Well, now that we have gotten that out of the way, let me introduce to you again Sean Apache Carter. I've been telling you that he'll be here, and he's right here as the president of BACA. And good night, sir. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hi, good evening, Marcia. Thank you for having me here again. Good evening to Barbados and the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, so it's a real pleasure to have you here tonight, because we are here. You were with us for a short bit last week, Wednesday, and
Yes.
you're back here again.
Very interesting indeed. thought I was here for a little bit last week with the announcer, talking about the announcer, talking about the song, and we're back here again tonight, just a week later.
Yes, 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 yes. A week, yeah, literally a week later. Now, what is the position of Baka on this move that Starcom has made? Because we have not heard the song played on Starcom. What is the position of Baka on this move by Starcom, and explain to us why you've taken whatever the position you've taken.
Sure. So I would have spoken to Ronnie yesterday evening.
You mean to the announcer?
To the announcer.
Yeah.
He made me aware that the song was being prohibited on all of the Starcom stations. So we had a quite lengthy conversation. I wanted to, and it's nothing different to what I do with any other situation, any other artist. You know what is here on the surface, but I like to get a full picture so that when we are representing an artist, that we don't get blindsided by something that we didn't hear up front. So we had quite a good, and the announcer is very articulate as well. So he knows how to communicate exactly how he feels, exactly what is happening. As a result of that, I would have communicated with our executive. I would have suggested a plan of action. And the first plan of action that was agreed upon was to formally write the station manager, Mr. Anthony Green, station manager of Starcom Network Inc., for several reasons. One, because this song has now been vetted by 3 lawyers. The song was firstly vetted by the announcer's lawyer. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it was vetted by Shining Stars Calypso's legal counsel. And then thirdly, the song was vetted by Baka's legal counsel as well. All 3 sets of lawyers said there's nothing libelous about the song. There's nothing defamatory about the song. Usually, these are the 2 things that would cause a song to be banned on the radio or to be prohibited from being played on the stations. So this song does not fit into those categories. So one of the questions to Starcom Network, more precisely to Anthony Green, is what is the reason that this song is being barred from being played on the stations? Can you identify? Is it a legal issue? If it's a legal issue, again, identify what is the legal issue that's stopping the song from being played. The second thing that we did, apart from sending a formal letter to Starcom, is that we also put a very brief statement on our social media, just indicating that we are aware of the situation and that we are dealing with it formally. We have not, we would have sent off that email, that correspondence to Starcom Network Inc. This morning, and we have not received a reply from Starcom as yet. We have, I can tell you, we have requested a response from Starcom within 7 days, and after 7 days and there is no response, then we would take further action. The reason why, to your second part of your question, the reason why we are supporting the announcer on this, the reason why we are taking a stand, the reason why there's pushback from the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists is that if we keep quiet and we stay silent, then it means that a precedent will be set for a song to be banned when there's nothing libelous about it, there's nothing defamatory about it. So that's why we are seeking clarification from Starcom as to why this song is banned, because if there's no legal issue, if they can't identify a legal issue, maybe there's something there that we are missing. But if there's no legal issue, then this censorship of artistic expression and freedom of speech, this is extremely concerning for us today. And what makes it even more concerning is that Ronnie Clark, we're not talking about the announcer, no, Ronnie Clark is an employee of this same radio station, Starcom Network. What makes it even more interesting is that Admiral would have played this same song on CBC this morning, which means the song is not banned at CBC, but it's banned at Starcom. So I mean,
right.
you know, what's the explanation, what's the reason behind this? But for sure, we as an artists association, as the association that represents and defend the right of artists, we cannot allow this precedent to be set, because what would this mean for artists on the road? It cannot be the artist's opinion versus the radio station's opinion. You have to prove what is the legal issue that you have with this song for this song not being played. And that's pretty much our position on this issue at
Yeah.
this point.
So you are saying that the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists, that you guys have made a decision that you've written requesting from Starcom to know exactly what on what basis, right?
Yes.
That the song has been prohibited from playing on all of their stations.
Yeah.
And you've given them 7 days to respond.
Yes.
And you don't want this to be a precedent for the other artists, because you represent creatives and artists in Barbados.
Yes.
And Ronnie is and the announcer is a member of that association.
Yeah. And the thing is that it goes beyond, if this precedence is set, it goes beyond Calypso. It goes beyond Calypsonians. It could affect any of our members in the other disciplines. For me, to my mind, is actually quite similar to what happened to Praise Academy. There was censorship by the NCF. And what is the basis of the censorship? Right? As we all know, it's currently a court case as it relates to Praise Academy. And we are asking the same question. What is the legal basis for this thing? If there's no legal basis, then play the song.
Yeah. That basically that is it. Play the song. What is somebody here says we need to rally around the artists. What would you say to the public? What would the artists need from the public at this time? Sean.
Right. So you see, we tend to forget that we are the persons who should run the country. We give too much autonomy to the politicians. We give too much autonomy to the state entities, and we stay silent and we accept. But we have power. We have a say. So the first thing that I would say to the public is that, you know, let your voice be heard. You can call into the calling programs. There's two. There's brass stacks that happen from 10 to 2 every afternoon on the same station. And then there is a program that is dedicated to crop over and to Calypso and to soak and to the arts that are involved in the festival, which is fireworks, again, on the same 92.9 station. So persons have an opportunity to actually call in and let their views be heard. People will say, well, you know, Apache, you biased because you're the president of the Artists Association. Fine. But when the public is speaking and the public is saying what they don't like about the situation, what they expect to see in the situation, when the public is expressing their support for the artists, that goes a long way, because both the radio station depends on the public. If there's no listenership, then there's no advertising dollar. So the commercial consideration goes out the window if the public stops listening to the station. If there's an issue of integrity as it relates to the station and the public stops listening to it, then they can't afford for that to happen. Secondly, as it relates to the competition of itself, the competition that the announcer is a contestant in, again, if the public does not come out and support the event, then where does that leave the NCF? So the public has a lot of power. The public has a lot of say. That's one. Those are two avenues that we've identified. You have brass tacks between the hours of 10 and 2, and then you have fireworks between the hours of 3 and 5:30. Those are two avenues where you can actually call in and let your voice be heard. Apart from that, persons can also write into the radio, to the newspaper, print media. So you can write letters to the editor. at both Barbados Today and the Nation newspaper, and you share your views. So I'm not telling anybody what to write. I'm just saying these are outlets that are provided, that we have in this democracy, that we have in this republic, and this is things that we need to take opportunity of. So, some of us, we will march from time to time as it relates to different things. That's another avenue that we can take. But we can also do the above: calling to brass tacks, calling to fireworks, write to the newspaper. You can even write to Anthony Green, the station manager at VOB. These are things that we need to do to keep democracy alive and to keep freedom of speech and freedom of expression alive. Because today it may be us, today it may be the artists, it might be us, including you, Marcia, as a creative, as the director of Fraser Academy. Today it is us. But what about the same public when they would want to say something in the future, and because these things were allowed to happen, then they don't have that freedom of speech. They don't have that freedom of expression. For us, it's artistic expression, but at the end of the day, it's freedom of speech, freedom of expression for all citizens of Barbados. So it's something that would affect us all.
Yeah, and very well said, Sean. And I'm reflecting on the announcer, because you and I knew when the announcer went into into Cropover.
Yes.
Before it became Carol Over. When it was real Cropover, we know when he entered, and that I mean, he would have sung about almost everybody. He sang about TC. He sang about different prime ministers. He sang about the same Carol, the NCF, the judging. I mean,
he sang about the church on 2 occasions.
The church. I mean, I remember
theology,
one pastor.
offering.
That's Ronnie. One pastor called me crying. A pastor called me crying. That Ronnie was singing about him. He sang about it, and in 2007. If my memory serves me right, he sang about her in Carol in 2007. But yet, I mean, there were weren't there any commercial consideration and any image of the client at that time?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about it is that we are not on the scale. We are not clients on the scale of the NCF, but Shining Stars, Calypso, Julie, they're clients of Starcom as well. I hear them every week. There's a 15-minute program for Shining Stars. Barbados Association of Creative Artists, we are clients of Starcom as well. We ran ads for 2 weeks leading up to our tribute concert that was promoted on this show as well. So we are both persons with interest in this situation. We are all clients of Starcom as well. So but the thing is that we're not asking for anybody at Starcom to bend over backwards for us because we're clients. We're just saying we want what is just and fair for our constituent, which in this case is the announcer.
Yes, and because a lot of people, some people might think he just started singing and they don't want him to sing. No, he's been singing over 20 years. It would have to be about probably 22, 23 years that he has been singing and making it to the finals and so on. So, he even told us about a song that I think we're still trying to find it, called the Silent Scream.
About abortion.
Yeah. And where, he was giving us this story last week where there was a young lady who was, she was pregnant at the moment, at that particular time, listening to it in the tent. And you know what? She decided she was having, two minds between whether she's going to abort the baby or she's going to keep the baby. And hearing him sing on such a controversial topic, because I'm sure there were women there that were upset that he was singing about that. Yes. But he was able to save the life of that particular baby because that mother decided all those years. And he said that that child must be about 17 years old now and is alive. Wow. So that we know, you and I know that is the announcer. The announcer jumps in the ring and he takes on all of these very, very controversial topics.
Yeah. And that song in particular, sorry to cross you, that song in particular is the one song that I remember from the announcer. There were many other good songs. There were songs that were witty, very, very witty, very cleverly written. This is one of the more serious songs that the announcer has ever done. And let me tell you, being there at Kensington when he sang that song, there was an absolute hush over the entire place when he was finished. There was a deafening silence. It was extremely powerful. In my opinion, the most powerful song presentation that the announcer has ever done on any stage in Barbados. Very, very powerful.
Correct, correct, correct. And you know, I think at this time, guys, I just want to, before I make that point I was going to make, I'm going to ask you to call. We have the number 236-7000, and feel free to call and to share your thoughts on it, because I think this is going to affect all of us. And I love the way Baka is handling this right out the blocks, not waiting, because if this happens with him, it can happen to any of us.
Yes.
It can even happen to a church. You know, it could happen to it could happen to anybody, really. So call, guys, 236-7000. It's 236-7000. Give us a call if you have. Okay, there's an incoming call. Just hold a second. Excuse me, guys. A minute, and feel free to call in and to share your thoughts on the matter. Good night, caller. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Hey, good night, Marcia. Good night to the gentleman you have on the panel there.
Yes.
Hey,
I didn't catch his name because I joined pretty late. What's his name?
Sean Carter, and he's the president for the Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists.
Okay, good. Yeah. Good night to you, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, good night, and well.
Good. I just want to quickly say this just is another sign of the powers that be are trying to mute people from freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, and their right to speak, be it in song or otherwise, and voice their opinion on matters or whatever the case may be that's going on presently in our island. The same way how they've tried to come to the cybercrime bill, they're trying it on another scope. But I want to join with you, sir, and letting the announcer know that we all stand with him in this regard. We are not afraid, and we will not be silent, no matter what they do. I'm hoping that I wonder if they're going to try to ban classic song spotlight as well. I wonder if they're going to do that.
Well, they tried that already.
When are they going to give up? It's not going to work, no matter what they try to do. So, to the announcer, if he's listening, stand firm, my brother. Keep on doing what you're doing. The people are with you. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. And I love how we spoke to the announcer. And so, when you're involved, Sean, in these kinds of things, Praise has been through this. It's not easy. Sometimes it feels like a very lonely road, because some people assume that you have done the wrong thing. Luckily, in this instance, his song was out there before all of this happened, and people loved the song. In our case, not a lot of persons heard our production until after I put it out. It went up to 20-something thousand views, and people then said, really? But the artists do need support. So those of you who can call in, and we can save all of these calls if the announcer might be at rehearsals, if he's not listening, so that he can be encouraged. All right. So feel free to call. The number is on the screen. Go ahead and call. You were saying something though, Mr. Carter, concerning
I was responding to the comment that the caller made when he was saying that he hoped that they don't ban classic song. And classic song actually started in a similar position to what Rare Running song is. I think that the Marcia Week Show helped significantly in the decision making from the powers that be as it relates to if classic song whether being allowed to be played on the radio or not. But at one point, for a very short period of time, classic song was banned as well at CBC. And again, it shows that there is power in numbers. So when you let your voice be heard, then there is change, there is results. And this program, and you, Marcia, and the loyal opposition has proven that time and again.
Yeah, the power of because we told them. I had already alerted the police. I told them if when we're going to have a march, right? We will have a march. If classic song was banned, we were going to have a march, and I would come on as often as I could, and I would tell them. I know they listen, and I called the police. I had the letter written, just waiting. Letters right there waiting. We had a date waiting, and I kept checking in to find out, did you hear from them yet? Did you hear from them yet? Because we were going to hit the streets, and they knew that, right? So then they had to come, and they had to let the song be played, and we are watching, and we're watching this scenario, and determining, do we need to hit the streets concerning the song?
Yeah.
We have, because this is important to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. This is very, very important.
And sometimes people miss that. People think that this is a crop over issue, it's a Starcom issue, it's a BACA issue, it's an artist issue. It's not. It is extremely concerning when you look at the freedom of speech, when you look at censorship, when you look at freedom of expression. It goes beyond, like I said before, artistic expression. One of the other reasons why, and this I'm sure, Marcia, this is something that you would have experienced and that the kids would have experienced as well, after receiving the ban from the NCF, the disqualification from the NCF, which is the impact that it has on the artists themselves. It can be extremely draining. So this morning, again, in conversation with Ronnie, I told him, as much as is possible, try to forget about this issue. Let us deal with it. That is why we are here. That's where you pay your fees to be a member of BACA. Let BACA deal with it. And that's where we're making sure that we dot every I and we cross every T, and we go through the correct channels in dealing with it. So we're not rushing to the public with false information. We're not rushing to the print houses, to the media houses with false information. We firstly reach out to Starcom, seeking clarification on exactly what is happening here, and to let them know that it cannot be open-ended, because while you are, whatever is happening, the song is not being played, and this is disadvantageous to our constituent. This is disadvantageous to the announcer. So you don't want, as you said, I think it was last night when you came on for a short while, where you mentioned that the judging night for Shining Stars is on Monday the 14th.
Yes.
Right? I could tell you, when you have judging, when you have finals, especially as it relates to Calypso, it's a headspace that you need to get in. You don't need distractions like this. You need to, as brilliant as the announcer is, he's a human being. And the pressure of situations like this, and it's not just that your song is banned at a radio station, but this is your employer. This is where you work as well. So you are going back into the same environment, right? Interacting with the same people that are banning your song, but you still have to remain focused because you have judging on Monday. And again, it's to that extent that we say to the announcer, let us deal with it. This is why you became a member of BACA. This is why we exist. This is what we are here to do. But again, Marcia, I know for you and for Praise Academy, you know the weight that you feel, you know the disappointment that you feel when you have put so much work and effort into expressing that thing that has come to you, and then for it to be suppressed, for it to be then, blocked in this way, prohibited in this way. It affects you as a human being.
Yes, it does. It does. I mean, a lot of our children and parents, up to the other day, some parents are still crying about it, because it's a rejection of your work. You poured your heart and your soul.
Yes.
We have a caller, and I can tell the people who this is. This was Mr. Victor Young, who called me from last night and told me I want to speak on the program tomorrow. So, Mr. Victor Young, good evening.
Yes, good night to the guy who is there. I think he's doing a fantastic job.
Yes.
But I don't want to get too deep into this because my knowledge is not 100% following this Calypso thing. But I must say, for all the time that I've been hearing the announcer, I can say he is a very serious competitor.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very witty writer.
Yes.
You understand what Calypso is about.
Yes.
But what I must say to you, that anybody who comes on your show, they will ban you because they believe they can shut it down by having people not to speak on it. But they must realize that this is not your show alone. The Almighty has a hand in this show. And the Almighty is there. And the people who call the show, some of them are very religious people. Not that they have to belong into the church, but they believe in what is right and what is wrong. That's the thing about this show. And once the Almighty has his hand in this show, you can't get it stopped. People must understand nobody's more powerful than the Almighty.
Amen.
So I just want to send that message to people. You cannot shut down something because it's not going in your way, and if you're not saying something about the administration, and I tell you, these people that are doing this thing is not the politicians. The people who are doing this is called the politicians' pimps, the political pimps, the political prostitutes who is making these politicians look like they're really doing these things because they're benefiting. You only got to give them a few dollars and they will be doing the things that the politicians really are doing. The politicians are doing these things. It is the pimps that are around the politicians. And if these pimps would learn to be able to go and earn things for themselves and don't wait on politicians to give them things, a lot of things in Barbados will be a lot better. I believe if they could have banned me from the senior games, they would. Because people will tell me all the time, I hear you on the MARCIA. We show up to today, a guy called me. He wanted to know the number. I said, I'll give you the number. And one time on the show, I don't think there's nobody in Barbados could do better marketing than me. Because in my profession, I had to do marketing in my profession for over 33.5 years. Or if not, I wouldn't get a check. And that is known as the insurance business, which we now call it the financial services. So I'm a marketer. So they can't stop the show, and they can't stop me from going on. As a matter of fact, I must say to you, and I must give credit where credit is due, the Minister of Social Care, Mr. Humphrey, never disrespect me. Whenever I talk to him about the games, he listened to me. And whenever he's presenting a trophy to me, he always says to his photographers, this is his favorite athlete. But he's not saying this because he likes me. He's saying this because he sees that I am a professional. Yes. And I go about what I am doing as a professional, not that they like me. And I must make that abundantly clear, because I belong to nobody. The only boy belongs is the Almighty and my family.
Yeah.
But the point why he says that all the time, he sees me as a professional. And when I talk to him, I don't go and talk to him about a party or this kind of thing. I talk to him about the rejection when the athletes call me from Trinidad who want to get information, how they don't get any information because the people in the ministry do things. And I told him, the people around him is who is going to make him look bad.
Right. Okay.
It is the people around him who is, and I told him that, and I told him straight, when you're going to speak about it, don't say you hear, say Victor Anthony Bergman down the athlete tell you so.
Yes.
Because I can defend anything, anytime I come on any program, I can defend anything I say because I come with facts.
With facts. And that's the same thing with Ronnie's song, with the announcer. It's the announcer's song that he's coming with facts. And as you said, we don't know because he came on the show why they would have done it. But CBC played it this morning, so I don't know. But Mr. Young, thank you.
Let me just put this one thing here. Now, the guy that was on your show some time ago, did he ever come back on your show?
Which one? Which guy? There are lots of guys that were on
The
my
guy
show.
at the Calypso who they want to ban his song.
Oh, no, actually, he didn't come on. He
I'll
just,
tell you, let me stop you right there.
yeah.
He's not going to come back on because he had the right act retained. So how could he come back on? The right act was retained, so he's not going to come back on.
Yeah, he didn't come on at all, actually.
Again, and I must tell you this. If these Calypsonians got any guts, they will stand up now and show their solidarity for the same announcer.
Yes.
But there's a saying, everybody call in the same thing. Somebody call to get full, okay?
Yes, correct. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Young, for calling. We always love to hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, he called since last night and was very upset about it, you know. But I wanted to as we're waiting on other callers, I wanted to talk to you about some of the contents of the song, the lyrics of the song, because when I listen to the lyrics of the song, and if I go and I do some research on backup, and I was reading an article today, and some of what you're asking for on behalf of the Calypsonians, those are the thoughts that are being put forward, or the ideas being put forward, and the requests being put forward by the announcer in the song, in this particular song. And so can you go through that list for us again? I know there's somebody out there who says that they haven't heard this song. We're going to play it again. You hold on, okay? We will play it again, and we have an encore verse. If Dave could get the encore verse ready, it's in your WhatsApp, Dave. Get the encore verse. So as soon as Sean is finished, we'll play the encore verse, and then later we'll play the whole song. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. So, like I said last week, the song is very, very factual, Marcia. You would see some of the news articles are out there, Barbados Today, Nation News. Even if you listened to the same fireworks program on 92.9, many of the persons in public, many of the Calypsonians, the reigning Calypso king of Barbados, Adrian Clark, when he was on fireworks, one of the issues that he mentioned that is in Ronnie's song, in the announcer's song, is how there has been a call from the beginning, even to last year, even to this year, for a shift from Botanical Gardens back to Kensington. Reason being, the conditions backstage were unfavorable. So we thought that would have been rectified and resolved last year. Still had issues backstage. If you remember last year, the show actually started extremely late because there were issues backstage. Again, disadvantageous to the Calypsonians. The venue, Botanical Gardens, once so we have crop over in the rainy season. That's the first thing. So we know that every year this competition, this festival is happening in the rainy season. Botanical Gardens has not been built or retrofitted for the runoff of that water. So once you get rain, whether it's a couple of days before, whether it's the same day, the entire area is going to be soggy. It's going to be muddy. So then that's additional, apart from whatever the NCF has planned, then you have to take that into account, and you got to deal with that. Then it's in that water zone area, so there are no bathroom facilities except for the portable toilets. And we've had not only artists and Calypsonians and dancers as well, because persons always focus on the main act, which is the Calypsonian who is competing in the competition. But these guys, for the finals, they have an entourage. They have actors who are part of their presentation. They have dancers who are part of their presentation. So you have a lot of people backstage. Remember now, this is not a 10 person pick the crop finals. This is 18 persons in the finals doing one song, and not 10 people doing two. So the amount of people in that space has doubled.
Can I just quickly ask you, how many years have they done it at Botanical?
So we've had it for 2 years at Botanical.
And even though they went back the second year, even though the Calypsonians and everybody backstage complained.
Yes, the first year was in the Richard Stout Amphitheater, which was a different location, a little further in the Botanical Gardens. And then last year was like pretty much opposite the National Stadium, where they would have had some of the other shows. So they soak up 5.0, where you would have seen Tipsy and some of those other shows. The Pick of the Crowd was in that general area last year again. But again, there were still issues, there were still problems. And not only for us, not only for the artists backstage, but even for the patrons that would have come out to the final. So again, on Fireworks, you would have heard many people from the public saying, we're not going back to Botanical Gardens, right? We prefer Kensington. So this is not Baka speaking on behalf of the artists. This is the public saying we prefer Kensington.
So that's the public is also saying they prefer Kensington.
Yes. So you have the reigning Calypso King who's saying it. You have the Artists Association who is saying it. You have the public, the patrons that come to the show who are saying it. And this is what is in the Announcer's song.
And what is the plan for this year? Have you gotten a response from the CEO of the NCF on exactly what they're doing with in terms of the location this year?
So the announcement that was made is that the finals will be at Botanical Gardens. We have not received a further or another announcement that it will be switched back to Kensington. So that announcement is yet to be made if there is such a switch. But the official position of the NCF is that the finals will be at Botanical Gardens. That is what is out there.
So at the moment, so let the people hear at the moment that's a final, or that's a decision that we know that is in. If you check their website, the venue is Botanical Gardens, and so
that's correct.
The announcer used this song, right, to protest about that, to speak about that. The people want it there. The Calypsonians want it there, right? Correct. But the NCF is still not moving it. Okay, continue, please.
Yeah. So even before you get to the finals, again, there's a section in the song where it says this thing is gone, the next thing is gone. Again, very factual. One of the things that he's mentioning that is gone is the semifinals. We would have, again, Baka, in our meetings with the NCF, we would have requested for there to be a semifinals, because the gap between what artists experience in the tent and what you experience on the big stage at the finals, that jump and that gap is too huge. So what happened is that when you are, especially for the younger artists, the more experienced artists, the Kid Sites, the Bloods, etc., they know how to adjust because they're accustomed to that final stage. But when you have the newer artists, and there's the encouragement there for the youngsters to transition from junior monarch into the senior competition. But then when they have to make that jump from the tent to the finals, that's a huge jump that they are not prepared for, that they're not ready for. And what the semifinals does is that the semifinals is more developmental. So it prepares you. It's a big stage. It's a national stage. It's not like a tent. It's a national stage, but it prepares you then for the big yard. It prepares you then for the big show, for the finals. And it's from that perspective that we would be asking for there to be a semifinals. Like I said, it's developmental. It helps the artists to gradually increase their game or build their game for the finals. So you will have a much better product at the finals as well. I can tell you that in discussions both publicly and privately, that what was highlighted is that the semifinals was making a loss for the National Cultural Foundation. So the decision to not have to firstly stop the semifinals and then to not continue or to start it back was a financial decision that was made from the National Cultural Foundation. Again, public knowledge. It was said by the CEO publicly. It was said all over the place in 7 different articles as well. So again, this is something that was highlighted by the announcer in his song. Semifinals gone. Finals being held at Botanical Gardens, not at Kensington. Again, something that's very factual. Again, you can search ChatGPT. You can do a Google search. Again, we are on record. The Barbados Association of Creatives and Artists also requesting for there to be the return the, whether you call it the Party Monarch Finals or the Soca Monarch Finals. Again, you had several artists, both young and veteran soca artists. The most recent would have been probably Mr. Dale, that was making the point that even if you did not win the competition, that based on the exposure, that this thing is being streamed throughout the world, right? That's one. So you're getting the exposure on that level as a new artist, as a young artist, or even as an experienced artist. Your music is going to the world because people zone in on this. This is a soca finals, and this is a national soca finals. Whether it's soca, wherever the name is, it's a national soca finals. We've had several name changes over the years as well. And the point he was making is that whether you win the competition or not, that in itself is also developmental. It prepares artists then to be ready for export. So having that experience, there's a certain amount of disciplines you have to go through. You prepare for the competition. Again, you interact with your dancers. You have to go to rehearsals. You experience the experience of that big stage as well in the Soca Monarch. And there's an absence of it. There's a gap when you
So in essence, what all the things that he has chronicled in the lyrics of his song, these are concerns of the Calypsonians.
Or the soca
these are the soca artists.
Yeah.
And so he's not carrying a personal vendetta against the NCF or Carol. He is bringing the concerns of the Calypsonian soca artists and some of it's of the public.
Of the public as well.
Basically, it's what you're saying.
Very
factual song.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have the encore verse ready? While Dave is getting the encore verse ready, let me tell you something. Both the announcer and Sean, Dave, and myself, we know each other through the Walk Holy Band. And that's where we first connected, right, Sean? Even before the Experience Tent.
Yes.
And the Walk Holy Band goes out every year. This is now, I think it's 24 years. Dave, correct me, somebody. I'm always getting 24 years that the band has been in operation. And we are going out again this year. And we need people for the band. And if you're interested in a band that is wholesome, you want wholesome music, right? Yeah, you want wholesome music. You want to be part of taking care of people, because one of the things that we do is that we go ahead, Sean, you tell them.
Yeah, it's not just the music and the singing and the truck. We have care packages as well. So there's school supplies that we give out. Even in the midst of COVID, while Holy was still on the street, we sought permission, we got permission, and we were still on the street giving out care packages, giving out back to school supplies. And let me tell you, when the people see us coming, so there are two things. One is that you know that you will see costumes, even as is depicted here on the screen. You can see a costume. It's just not feathers, bikinis, and beads. There's costume. That's one thing that people look forward to. But the other thing is the care, and you could actually see a care package actually here being given to this child as well. So that is a vital part of the Walk Holy Band. So it's not just music. It's not just costumes, but there's the back to school supplies for the kids, and then the care packages as well that people look forward to.
Yes, go ahead, Dave, and play a little bit of it. Thank you. Oh, okay. Start over, Dave. Start over. The audio was off. So let's start at the top. Okay, you have to open your audio. The audio on the... Yes.
Join the Walk Holy Movement Band as they gather the patriots of the nation to free ourselves from the spirits of colonialism and declare Barbados a nation loyal to the sovereign God. For 23 consistent years, Walk Holy has ministered in the streets on Kiddumat Day with live worship, care packages, and tract distribution, and have won the hearts of many Barbadians who line the streets and who watch us from their homes. Join us, ye loyal sons and daughters, as we continue to war for the destiny of our nation. For over 300 years, the Lord has been the people's guide, and we, the people from all walks of life and professions, rally in unity to declare loyalty to Him, the sovereign God. What Holy declares, Barbados belongs to God. Join us by WhatsApping or calling 246-245-0396 or 246-236-7000, or email us at whatholybds@yahoo.com, or search for us on Facebook at What Holy Barbados.
Come, let me go.
Young children must be buried their Bible daily. Get yourself in here. Salvation is to share with this chorus in the air. Hey! Keep on walking. God is holy. Many children. Hey!
Yes, nice. Great, that's a great one. And we're going to look at the encore version, the encore verse. All right, so in the tent, if you haven't been to a tent, you know how it goes. They're gonna call you back, and I think he was called back 3 times or 2 times.
Twice,
You got twice. Dave, yeah. And so let's hear the encore version. Encore verse.
Somebody say, announcer, you can't make the finals. Singing that song, even though it's strong. The bad mind is spiteful and it grudge. You wait till July 14th when it's your time to judge. When I tell them, my friend, it isn't so. That doesn't sound like the carol that I really know. However, she might change the name of finals night from Piggity Crop to Carol by Candlelight. Happy Camelova. It's the National Carol Festival. The Carol Festival. The Cabaret gone. Mr. Harding gone. And Zebra, Feathers and Bees. Where? In the Carol Festival. John King gone, in we gathering gone. And Calypso King, we used to sing, but you won't find him in the Carol Festival. But think it not straight. It happened ever since the minister changed. I love you, Carol, and you're calling me back. Whoa, I was done with that. But your wish, it is my command. I must acquiesce to the audience demand. St. Barnabas, where Edwin come from. Voice in my head, over Lenny, a true champion. And if I can be 5% of me, then I know I'm a credit as a Calypsonian. It's happy Popova, no, happy Cavalova. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Baxter's Road Mall gone, and the stadium gone. But there's so much more that we need from the Carol Festival. I speak in the truth, and my lyrics are proof. I fell down over a chord last year and I mashed up my front tooth, but I cannot straight. How over, rearrange. And thank you, I love you. The announcer, NCF. Love you, thank you.
Listen. Well, listen, he is judging. Tell us when the judging is happening, Sean.
Judging is Monday, the 14th of July. This
This
Shining
is
Stars
This
Calypso
Monday
tent.
coming. This is
This
this
Monday
Monday
coming,
coming.
yes. They are the first tent to be judged in the competition. First judging night. Shining Stars are Monday, the 14th of July at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. And as far as I know, I think I'm not sure, but I will get it the right information and let everybody know. But I believe that he might be the first. He's number one. He might be the first person being judged in the entire competition. So if they want to hear him, if it is so, you've got to get there like after 7, right?
For sure.
Yes, and I think it's $50 to
Yes.
yeah. I
And
plan to go.
Kitsai is also in that tent as well with a
Oh
very
wow.
yeah. So you have two big ones in that tent.
Yes, is Colin Spencer in there?
Colin is in All Stars. They are judging. Where are they judging? I could tell you the full run over the other tents as well. Let's give you a minute. But
Yes.
I know
While you go ahead, if you have it, go right ahead, Mr. Carter.
no, I don't have it as yet. I'll pull it up now. But
Well,
those
while he's doing that, let me just say that this Sunday, folks, our prayers continue, and we are praying for Christchurch. And so, those of you who can come out and join us on the prayer drive and motorcade, and we are reading scriptures over the. Don't forget the crime and so on. We are reading the scriptures. We're praying. We're starting at Sheraton Mall, and from Sheraton Mall, we are going to go to I think it's Vauxhall and all of these different places. On Friday, I will have I'll have the list of places that we're going to go, and we're going to end up where we ended up, Sean, for Shonatan, where
shot someone
Shonatan
walk.
was shot. Yes,
Yeah,
we're going to end there,
Silver
right
Hill.
there on the court, the right there at the hard court, in Silver Hill.
Yeah.
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 And so, but that's Sunday at 1:30. So people, you can leave straight from church and you come, and you can come and go. People, some people start with us and then they leave and others join in. Okay, so we're going to give you the route and you can always join us. So prayer is so crucial. Prayer is so important, and we need you to come and join us in prayer. Okay. This is on Sunday at 1:30. We're starting at Sheraton Mall. Everybody should know where Sheraton Mall is. And we continue to announce it. All right, go ahead, Sean, with what's on the screen.
Yeah, so like I said, the first tent to be judged is the Shining Stars. This is where the announcer is. This is where Kirsite is. There's several other artists who will be in there. Second tent to be judged on the Tuesday night, the 15th, is the tent of the Super Gladiators. Then you have Stray Cats Calypso tent on the 16th, which is the Wednesday. Then there's a break. And the following week, on the Tuesday, you have on the 22nd, the Big Show. And all of the judging starts at 8 p.m. Doors would open before, but the judging actually starts at 8 p.m. And then All Stars is the tank where you were asking just now where Colin Spencer is. Colin Spencer is in All Stars. They have a pretty solid cast in there as well. The reigning Pick of the Crop Monarch is in the big show, which is Tuesday the 22nd. All Stars, like I said, on the 24th. And then the last tent to be judged, House of Soca, on the 25th. Where you would have had former Monarch Quan. Quan is in there. Sir Rule is in there. Some of those younger Doyen, some of the younger artists that came over from Junior Monarch into the senior competition there in House of Soca. The what would have been the junior Soca Monarch Dynamo is also in House of Soca. Has a very powerful song this year as well. And then Dynamo's dad, Billboard, is also in House of Soca, that last night to be judged. So it's starting with a firecracker in the announcer, and it's ending in a firecracker in Billboard in House of Soca. So inviting everybody and encouraging everybody to come out and support the tents. You must see the tents on judging night in order to understand why the judges make the decisions that they make. You're not judging the songs based on what is being played on YouTube. what's played on the radio. They're judging based on the performances that are done on judging night. So Kim, Shining Stars, is the time that the announcer is in. So he's judging on Monday the 14th at 8 p.m.
And where is it going to be?
I think Shining Stars, they are going to be at the gymnasium.
Okay, I thought that right. I unless it's changed. The last time I heard was at Sheraton. Not Sheraton, at
LESE.
Lord Erskine. Okay,
Yes,
but
that's correct. So those the two venues for the judging is either LESE, Lloyd Erskine Sanford Complex, or the gymnasium. So you are correct. Shining Stars will be judging at LESE on Monday night.
So it's Lord Erskine Sandiford
Yes.
Center.
Yeah.
It's where it's going to be Kim Tay Ask and Search for Truth Ask. Okay, and it would be great. Thank you. I'll be there. Kim Tay, give me a call and let's go together. 236-7000. Let's go together. All right. I might just go in my Carol costume. Sean, you didn't see me. You didn't see me in my Carol costume. You didn't see me in my Carol.
I didn't see that. I didn't see
oh
that.
My Lord. Oh my Lord.
I would love to see the wig.
You'd love to see the wig? Oh my goodness. And on the 20th, though, on the 20th. So in case you missed him on the 20th, right there at Praise Academy, he's going to be performing, the announcer, on July the 20th at 4:30 p.m. He's going to be performing along with Kidsight, Blood, Donella, Richard Antonio, the Apache, right here on the screen, Sammy Jane, Colin Spencer, Julie, James Leacock, and many more. All of these people right there on Praise Academy. Listen, we're going to pack out the place on the 20th of July. Let me tell you. You know, so listen, we should all go Kim Tay in Carol wigs. You can tell I love drama and think let's crop over. You have fun. And if I were her, I would wear a crazy wig. Well, she just wears her wig and just have a fine time and enjoy herself and enjoy the song. If they sing about me, I would be in the front dancing. I would have been up in front dancing. Enjoy this cup over. It's what it is. Yeah. Yes, the makeup. They said you got to see my makeup. They said you got to see my makeup, Sean.
I look forward to seeing that Carol costume.
I will show you after we're done. Well, folks, 10:06. It's 10:06. Thank you all so much for joining tonight. Lots of things to remember. But the first thing is on Sunday, Christchurch, we're meeting right there. Prayer is important. Not just a tent, but we got to pray, people. So we're going to be meeting right there at Sheraton Mall, 1:30 on Sunday. All right. And then those of you who are going to the tent on Monday, it's at 8 o'clock. But aim to get there like 7:45, no? To make sure we're there for the announcer. Huh?
Or before.
We want to be there for the announcer. Okay? We have to be there for him. All right? All right, folks. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Carter, for joining.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Also to Mr. Stephen Strickland for doing such an amazing job. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, Dave. Have a good night. God bless you, everybody.
Make sure you play low. Somebody say announcer, you can't make me finals. Singing that song, even though it's strong. The bad mind is spiteful and it bunch. You wait till July 14th when it's your time to judge. When I tell them, my friend, it isn't so. That doesn't sound like the carol that I really know. However, She might change the name of finals night from Piggly Crop to Carol by Candlelight. Happy crop over, happy Carol over. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival, the Cabaret gone, Mr. Harding gone, Auntie Brown, Feathers and Bees, where is the Carol Festival? John King gone, in we gathering gone, a Calypso King, we used to sing, but you won't find him in the Carol Festival, but think it not straight, it happened ever since the minister changed. I love you, thank you, and stay here. You're calling me back. Oh, I was done with that. But your wish, it is my command. I must acquiesce to the audience demand. St. Barbados, where Edwin come from. Voice in my head, over Lenny, a true champion. And if I can be 5% of me, then I know I'm a credit as a Calypsonian. It's happy Papa, no, happy Cabalova. It's the National Carol Festival, the Carol Festival. Baxter's Road Mall gone, and the stadium gone. But there's so much more that we need from the Carol Festival. I speak in the truth, and my lyrics are proof. I fell down over a chord last year and I mashed up my front tooth, but thinking not straight. Help up over, rearrange. And thank you, I love you. Big announcer, NCF, NCF. Love you, thank you.